Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we will discuss about how to perform VCSA VC install through UI installer. Before we start installing VC through UI, we should download the build and then extract the build, and inside that you will have the UI folder. So prior to that, let me show you how to download the vSphere 7.4 build. In the MyVMware under downloads, you can get the latest vSphere 7.4 build. You can download it for a free trial, or if you wanted to download, you can log in and you can download. Should have proper privileges and all. And I've already downloaded this build and extracted. We'll quickly move on to the extracted build and we'll start from there. I've downloaded the build and extracted it. So inside the extract folder, you will see couple of folders in this, and this basically you see VCSA CLI installer. This folder is used if you wanted to perform installation through CLI. I made a other video how to install VC through CLI installer. Now in this video we will concentrate only on the UI, so we should go inside this UI installer folder, double click, and And in this VCS UI installer folder, we have three more folders with respect to the OS. If you are trying to install from a Linux OS, you should use Lin64. If you are you're performing installation from a Mac, you should use this folder. If you're performing installation from Windows, you should use this folder. So as of now, I'm performing installation from Windows, so I'll go into Win32 folder. Inside this, you have a lot of files in it, so we need not to worry, or we should not need not to know all these things. What we should click on the installer. You see a file called with the name installer. You should click on that. I open the installer. The installer homepage looks like this, where it says what is the version. Here it says vSphere 7.4. That is correct because you downloaded the 7.4 build. And from this installer, you can perform four operations. One is install, upgrade, migrate, and restore. So as of now, we will be performing install. So we'll click on the install. And here you see in the external platform service, in the introduction page, you have an read note where it says that the external PSC where it says that the external PSC is been deprecated. So you can click on this to learn more. So it takes you to other page which gives you all the details. So here we will click on next, accept. Here we should provide the vCenter server FQDN or IP, or you can provide the SXI. If you are trying to deploy your VC on an other VC, you should give VC IP. If you wanted to deploy on an ESXi, you should give ESXi IP. So in this video, I'll be deploying my VC on an ESXi. So I'll provide my ESX IP here and credentials for that. Click on next. Once you click on the next, it will ask you for accepting the thumbprint, and yes. Here we should provide what is the name of the VCVM. It has to be, so let us provide a name. I'll set a password. So if you wanted to know what is the strength of password you should maintain, you can click on I symbol. It shows you what and all your password should contain. So you see here, I just hovered my mouse on the I symbol, so it tells you what and all it is. Similarly, if you want to have out what name you have to provide, so you can click on this. It says it must not contain percentage, and there are a couple of other things which it should not be. I'll click on the next. So here in the deployment sizes, we have a couple of deployment sizes. One is tiny, small, medium, large, and X large. Altogether, we have five deployment types according to. So if you see for every deployment type, it has the number of CPUs, memory, storage and host. That's the maximum it supports for that particular instance. So let's say you're expecting your infrastructure to growing large in future, so maybe you have to select this. You have to select the large from here. Large, you can select. So if you whenever you select deployment size, you see the below table gets selected accordingly. So now in this one I'll go with the tiny. In some scenarios, your infrastructure will be in medium, but you see the storage is going to be large. So what you can do is you can select extra large or large options where storage will. If you see where before, if I don't select, you have the storage of maximum 18, not, let's see, for the 41, for the tiny it is 415 GB, but when you select large it changes to 1490, and when you select X large it becomes 3245 GB. So you can, like, if you see that you need more storage you can select that, but now I'll go with the tiny, and the storage size to be default, so it is 415 GB. And here it shows what are the data source that are available in your ESXi and list downs, and then you can select that. As of now I have only one local data source, so I have select only that, and I'll enable the disk mode. So here you should give it what network you wanted to deploy, what is IPv like network version, like you want to do IPv4, IPv6. So IPv4 you'll select it, either it's DHCP or static. If it is static, you should provide FQDN, IP address, subnet, default gateway, DNS server, and then you can proceed, and common ports like 80 and 443. So basically if you wanted to install your VC on a custom port, you need to change these ports to the port on which you wanted to install. Let's say if you wanted to install your HTTP on 90 and your 443 to be on, your HTTPS to be on 4444, you can do this, but as of now let's go with 443 and 80. And here I'll go with the static. I'll provide all the required inputs. I provided the IP address, what is my default gateway and all, and we'll go to ready to complete. Here it shows you what and all you have selected, and we'll click on finish. The overview of deployment will start. So point to add, the UI installation is of two stages, stage 1 and stage 2. Stage 1 consists of deploying OVF and installation of RPM. The stage 2 consists of um, first boot and export. So we'll wait for OVF deployment to be complete, and stage 1 to complete, and we'll then continue with the stage 2. So stage 1 deployment is successfully completed. Once that is completed, you can see a screen like this. You see it says that you have successfully deployed the vCenter server. To proceed with stage 2 of the deployment process, vCenter server setup, click on the continue. If you exit, you can continue with the vCenter server setup by any time logging into this particular URL. So let's say if you cannot complete the stage 2 right now, what you can do is anytime you can come back and open this in your browser, and then from there you should be able to continue for the stage 2. So as of now we'll go in the installer. Click done. So this is a stage 2 first page where it shows where are you. Here it shows you are in the stage 2, and here it says you're in stage 2. We'll click on the next. So here you have two options. One is time synchronization SSH access. Time synchronization, you can sync with the ESXi host, or you can even provide the NTP. If you click on NTP server, it asks you to provide the NTP servers list. So here I'll go with the ESXi host, and SSH access. It, by default it will be disabled. If you wanted to access VC after deployment through SSH, you should select on enable and click next. So now in the SSO configuration page, you have two things. One is you can create a new SSO domain, or you can join to an existing SSO domain. If you're going to create a new SSO domain, you should provide what should be your domain name, and the user will be administrator, that is by default, and what is the SSO password, and should confirm it. If you're going to join to existing domain, then you should provide your to which VC you're going to join this, so that particular VCIP and what domain is part of it and its password. So as of now, I'll go and create a new domain. Here I'll go with the default one and the password, and I'll retype the password and click on the next. So here join CAIP, I'll select it, and now here it shows you I clicked on the finish and actual installation started. So it is starting VMware authentication framework, and this will take a couple of minutes to complete. We'll wait for this entire progress bar to reach to 100%. Installation completed 69%, and we'll wait for it to complete 100%. Stage 2 is completed, and it means that VC installation is successfully completed. And once the complete screen will give you details, what is your VC IP and how do you access it. So here, I'll just go read what is the message here. vCenter server setup has been completed successfully. Click on the link below to get this started with, and click on exit if you don't want to go ahead. So I'll go and I'll start with this. So I'll click on this one. So here, this is a home page, and I'll click on vSphere client HTML5, and here it is asking me for the credentials. So I'll provide the username administrator and the domain that I use at the time of installation and the password that I've set. Click on login, and I'm able to log in successfully. So you see this is my VC name, and here what I will do is I'll create a data center, let it be the data center, and a cluster. So while creating cluster, you can create a normal cluster or you can enable DRS and HA at the time of creation. So as of now, I'll go with the normal creation without selecting DRS and HA. And now in this cluster, you can add your ESXi host. You see add option, and you can also add ESXi host to the data center level, but usually as a best practices, they add it in the cluster and enable DRS and HA. So with this, we are able to successfully install vCenter Server 7.4 using UI. Thank you.